So you guys can't hear the Roomba? Oh, there we are.
Hey, it's JD here, and welcome to the Sunday afternoon jam. Depending upon where you are, it might be evening, it might be early in the morning, it could be hell, it could be midnight. I don't know. But here we are, and we're all together, and we're going to be talking Pavement today, or SM, or the Hard Quartet, or anything Pavement tangentially related. So I've got a couple folks here with me in this stream. Let's start with our friend Dan from London. Dan, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good, JD. I'm okay. It's 7:30 here in London, so it's dark.
Excellent. Not excellent. It fucking sucks when it's dark at 7 o'clock. I hate it.
Yeah, this gives me something to do, so that's cool.
And then we got old Timoteo from Portland. Timmy, how's it going, Uncle Timmy?
Well, currently I'm in Toronto in your living room,
That's right,
watching
you
your
are.
watching your Roomba zoom by. I kind of want to smash it. But yeah, it's going great. I'm in Toronto on a little bit. My wife called it Tim's North American tour. I corrected her and I said North American Mexican tour. Of course, because the left is now calling it Mexico America. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It's not been in the news yet. Anyways, it's going great. Having a good time doing a jaunt around the frozen North America and headed home in a couple of days. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been nice to have you here. What did we do yesterday? We got up to a bit of no good. We had some breakfast, we had some lunch, we had some dinner. It's good times. Scones and
Got our
lots of good
steps in.
lots of good stuff. Yeah, 10,000 steps yesterday I got, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
10,139 steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll take that any day of the fucking week. Let's get right into things, folks. Let's talk about Pavement. Let's see, is there anybody here? If you're here, please comment in the comment section. And if you want to join us in this actual video portion, let me know, and I will add you to the presentation. So, what should we start with, guys? I think the big news hit of the last couple of weeks is SM playing a solo show in New Hampshire in May.
Mm, yes.
What do we
Yes.
what do we make of this? Tim, you did some research yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit. He's playing at the Thing Festival, which I didn't know was in New Hampshire. I know of it from the Pacific Northwest. It was a really cool sounding festival. They always have a great lineup, and it's not crazy pricing as far as costs go. But yeah, he's playing May. I think it was 17th in New Hampshire, and it looks like a medium smallish club. And I think passes for the weekend were $100, which is great. And it looks like it's a
Yeah.
solo show. So yeah, yeah, that's
In
all I
in
know.
a world where there's now, $70 tickets for a single act, an indie act even you can pay 60, $70 for now.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. I
a
think I
hundred bucks
paid
for
six.
$100 for a festival sounds dynamite.
Yeah, THQ tickets were like 60, 50, 60. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, solo show
Dan,
should be exciting. I would think.
yeah, I do too. I'm sort of jazzed by this. Uh, Debating, it's an 8-hour drive. Debating on if it's worth the drive. It's going to be one of those things where I look at the set list the next day and kick myself if I don't go because he's going to do something fucking awesome or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
times I've seen him
The
play
ru-
solo, kind of random type venues, obviously always worth it.
Yeah.
yeah,
What are you
and the,
thinking,
the
Dan?
rule should always be, well, the rule should always be if you can, you should, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it because we're not. Well, I'm not going to get to go, so you can report back on it for me.
That's a
And
good
Tim's
point.
been to other Mountain solo shows that have happened recently, so you guys are getting them in the bag.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
might
I'll try to
try.
go. I'll
Yeah, I
see
might
if I
try.
can swing that. Yeah. I
I'm
guess
I'm
another
just
bit of
curious.
news. Oh,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
curious, just to stick with this.
Yeah.
I'm curious what how he'll derive his set. Like, will he do?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm like he's not going to do any pavement things. I don't think. I think he's pavemented out at this point. Maybe he throws one song in or something like that. But what do you guys think? Is he going to do Jick stuff? Is he going to do stuff we've never heard before? Like, what are we going to hear?
Well, when I saw him play pre THQ in Portland,
Yeah, yeah,
like a year ago,
yeah.
maybe a little over a year ago at Turn 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 in Portland, Oregon, he played with Jake on drums from the Jicks. And he
Okay.
played with another fellow on guitar whose name is escaping me. Sorry. But they played all stuff I've never heard, and that's not on the THQ album. So who knows? Mount could show up and play a bit of that or stuff we've never heard.
What would you want to hear rather than what do you think we'll hear? What would you want to hear, Dan?
Tricky one, really. I mean,
I
I
know.
don't know. We're in weird territory with Mountainous at the moment. As you say, everything he's done over the last couple of years has been a bit random as well. I mean, like, just announcing the hardcore tech stuff, and then an album comes out, and then a tour follows. The first date of the tour is like, what was it? Like just a week after the album's
Yeah.
dropped. So it's just so completely random. I mean, yeah, new stuff would be good, but as usual, we like the reworkings of old stuff, where he just messes around and reworks stuff, improvises stuff, but he'll do stuff that he's comfortable with doing at that point in time. So, I'm happy to let him decide that. Yeah.
Well, Tim, if you end up going and I don't
I
go,
would,
you'll have to record it.
if I go and you don't go, you're in huge trouble. So I would hope he. I mean, I saw one of his two gigs when he played. Oh, what's the album? That didn't
Oh,
go
the
anywhere,
tradition,
basically.
Groove Denied.
Yeah, trad tech. Yeah, traditional techniques. I saw
No, that
one
was
of
the one he
those two
didn't. That
shows.
was
I
the
would
one he
hope
didn't
he.
tour. He didn't tour in traditional techniques. Remember,
No,
he
he
canceled it
did
because of
two.
COVID.
He did two trad tech shows. He did one in Portland and he did one in
Really?
Mexico with Wilco. Yeah, with Wilco. They opened for Wilco.
Wow.
Yeah, there were two trad tech shows. I recorded one of them. You know this. Anyways, I would hope he would do something from traditional techniques because I think there's some great songs on there.
Oh, I do too. We
Definitely,
never get to hear them live.
yeah, yeah. He played a warm up show in Portland at this little community theater in town that my son and I went to. It was really good. Sound was shit, but it was really good. But anyways, I doubt would be like Groove Tonight tracks. So I don't know. It would be amazing if he showed up and just played trashy, crazy guitar, screamed and walked
Just
off.
all
I don't
covers.
care. Yeah, we'll
Oh
see.
man. Well, the other big news hit since we've checked in last, and I speculated this on the number one episode with Robert Greene. I asked him point blank, "Are we going to get new Pavement music?" And he was coy. And since that interview, it has come to light that there will be a song on the soundtrack that is a new Pavement song. Now, to my ears, that's sort of trick speaking. Like, I think it's going to be new to us, but
Mm,
not new to them. Does that make sense? I don't think they recorded anything new. That's just me. I think they're going to unearth something.
that's highly
Um,
likely.
yeah, there was a recent interview I saw with Spiral, and oh my God, Pete's here. But he's mentioned that it was something that they enjoyed playing together, that they played quite a while together. So Witchy Tied Toe or something, maybe.
Ah, okay.
It's my guess. I think that was Pete's guess as
What
well.
do you think, Pete?
What was the
We're talking
question?
about the new Pavement song.
Okay, fill me in. I know little to nothing.
Well, we don't know either. We just know that as part of the Pavements movie, there's going to be a new Pavement track on the soundtrack.
I would have to say, and I don't know, it sounded like that's what Dan was referring to. I would have to say it's either a cover. Yeah, it's a cover. I don't think they're gonna do a new track. I
don't think it's anything new. That's like, I don't think they recorded anything new. I think it might be one of those Spiral Gary songs. That's my gut. I don't know.
So then it wouldn't be the whole band, would it? Would you be able to
Yeah, I
call
guess
that
so.
Pavement?
I guess not. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess it'd
I'm
be
guessing it'll just be something unearthed.
How are you doing this, Tim and JD? I thought you guys would be sitting next to each other.
Well, we thought about doing that, but then it's like the camera wouldn't fit us both in really.
That makes sense.
And the microphone, so he's in my living room right now.
Okay.
Okay, him and Dan are both behind maps or in front of maps. That's
Oh
so
yeah.
funny.
I still have the arrows on. So you're
do
up
you?
there somewhere, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, new Pavement song, a lot of different speculation. It's going to be fun. When are we going to get that song? Well, this moves us to the next topic. When the Pavements movie comes out, we will get access to that. When the Pavement movie comes out, all I've heard from that interview with Robert Greene is spring. So whether that means May or April, I don't know. But man, I hope it's May so that it gets sort of a summer, a summer bit of summer play. What are your expectations of? I've been lucky enough that Robert gave me a hookup and let me watch it, and I watched it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will ask you, what are your expectations for this movie? We'll start with you, Mr. Puma.
That would be me.
Pete the Puma.
You know what? I'll tell you what. For me, it didn't get any better than Slow Century. Right. So, I mean, that was pretty much one of the greatest documentaries ever, rockumentaries. So,
Spinal Tap is right up there too.
Right? Yeah. Well,
I'm joking.
But I think that it will be. I don't have high expectations, and so because I don't want to be let down, which means that I'll probably enjoy it. But I think it would be cool to see kind of like where everybody's at in their life, right now and kind of afterward, because like you said, there's nothing new. There's no new news. They did the tour, they did Primavera and then launched the tour and all that jazz. And I mean, I guess, you can't reinvent, you can't remake Slow Century. If they go into like the history of Pavement and Gary and all that stuff, it would kind of be like that. To me would be like watching, a remake of a movie that the original was really good.
Which usually is the case, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not everybody's hits, like with the exception of Christopher Nolan doing like the Batman, movies, like why, Michael Keaton was great. We didn't need another one, but Nolan did a good job with the Batman movies. That's the only example I can think of for remaking a movie that actually worked.
Ocean's 11 was pretty good, but yeah, we're nitpicking at this point. So you were going in with little to no expectations, and part of that is strategic so that you can enjoy it more, but part of it is just that you really love Slow Century.
Yeah, and I'm willing to even I want to pinkle people for information who have seen it prior to watching it, because if they warn me, like people that I know me and what I think of Pavement, if they're like, don't watch it, I might not watch it, because it's like I didn't watch the Bob Dylan movie with Timothée Chalamet. Just saw it. I heard a lot of great things, but I like Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
You know, I liked Queen. That movie did
You
not.
like him more than Timothy?
I do. Not much more, but a little more.
I will tell you, he does a fantastic job. And I will also tell you, based on what you just said, I'm not going to be one of the people who tells you not to see the movie. I would tell you to see the movie.
Yeah, I don't mean not see it, but just like kind of give me a heads up about it. Like, hey, if this is what you're expecting, you know, I've had my heart broken too many times with stuff. You know, if they do,
I hear you
if
on
they
that. I hear
if
you
they
on
do
that.
David Bowie, if they do a David Bowie biopic, I'm just gonna throw in the fucking towel. You know?
Yeah.
PD, from what I've read, which has been limited, because I don't like too many spoilers, but from what I've read, there's been no mention of Slow Century, like ever. So, from what I've read, it's very different. I think it's going to be good. I have hopes that it'll be fun. That's all I'm hoping for.
I don't think any of those guys would attach themselves with shit. So
no, I don't either. But it's going to be artsy. You know, there's definitely an artsy element to it. But Robert, who edited it and produced it, is a giant Pavement fan. Like fucking giant Pavement fan. So I think from that perspective, their heart is, you know, they're coming at it
that's
with like
good
tenderness, and like this is their favorite band, right? Alex Ross Perry, not as much, but Robert Greene for sure. That's his favorite band. And he got to make a fucking movie about them.
You just don't want a guy who bought Quarantine the Past 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and was like, "Fuck yeah," you know.
Yeah. What about your expectations, Stan? Annie?
I mean, for me, a bit like Pete, you know, I don't want to be disappointed. So, but at the same time, I mean, I hope we see something new, you know, something that we haven't seen before, you know, about the band, whether it's just a good bit of footage or some extra knowledge or insight or something. But ultimately, I mean, I hear it's pretty abstract. You know, there's just lots of different dimensions to it, isn't it? So it's going to be this weird, fangled, crazy. I mean, like with the Gary Young film and the puppets and all that. You know, I mean, this is where stuff's at the moment, isn't it? So, you know, I'll just see it and I'll go along for the ride. You know, I'll go along for the ride. I still haven't seen the Gary Young film either yet, so I've still got that to catch up on.
Well, where do you find it even?
Well, it came to Portland, but unfortunately, it's
but
toured
like for
a
one
tiny
day. It didn't come for like a run. It came for like a day. Like it's like an exhibit rather than a film. It's just strange, and it's not being streamed anywhere, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's one viewing in Portland, and unfortunately, I combined wine and tequila the night before, so I didn't make it. Total loser.
You're always whining about tequila.
Not always. I could.
Yeah, they don't stream
right
good
thanks,
movies. They don't. Yeah, you got it. They don't. I feel like they don't. They wouldn't. I don't know why they wouldn't stream stuff like that. I mean, I think if I put myself in the position of the people who make the movies, you know, the creators, like I have to think that like somebody like a Netflix or Amazon doesn't pay him jack. You know,
that's probably true.
You know, so it's like it's not worth it for them. But like on the other hand, it's like once you make that product and you stream it or you show it a couple places, let's be honest, it's kind of a niche, you know.
Oh, very much. Yeah.
You know, it's pretty niche. Put it on the streams and let people run with it. And what are you going to do with it? Just keep it in your basement?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Because remember that movie a couple years ago? Well, many years ago now. But there's been like docs that have like lingered on Netflix for a while and then they get discovered and they go viral, right? Like I'm thinking Searching for Sugarman.
Well, that won the Academy Award when that came out, man. That was
Did it?
Yeah, dude, that one best
Oh, okay.
documentary, I think, and it was.
Okay.
I think what you're thinking of is the music of that film. The subject of the film was somebody who had just disappeared, and Light in the Attic Records. What one of the big thing was they sold that CD. They had a deal with Starbucks. So when
Oh,
Starbucks used to sell CDs,
yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you worked there. That's
Yeah.
where a friend of mine had gotten the first couple. Those two Rodriguez records had got him at Starbucks.
Wild. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, louder than you think's on YouTube, so right next door, you know. So I would guess that the Pavements film will be somewhere for viewing.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, I just looked it
Is that
up.
on?
You can stream it. You have to pay for it, but
You
it's on
can
YouTube.
pay to
Oh,
stream.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. How much is it reasonable?
$2.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
a steal.
Everybody go out and fucking watch that movie. It's a good movie. I don't remember much about it because I have a fucked memory, but I remember really enjoying it. And it's got like that song that he did afterward, like Plant Man, which is fucking bizarre. I think I put it on an episode once because it's so bizarre.
Right.
Gary Young, fucking what a guy. Man.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And we didn't
Yeah.
get to go and do that road trip to see him, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, nice grand piano there, Pete.
Yeah, I just got it.
I like what you've done to the
You-
place.
you
Your
just
office is
racked-
much larger.
Yeah. You at Elton John's tonight. This
I'm
is
Elton.
weird.
That was another one. That was another movie that I tried watching it a couple times on a plane, and I was just like, oh, because Elton John was just, so cool, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see the movie just for the sheer curiosity of it.
Yeah. So just to reset, we're talking about Pavements right now. We're talking about expectations for this movie. If you're in the chat, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations? If you want to join us here on the live stream, let me know as well, and I'll send you the link to join us.
This is
Or
live,
if you want to
huh?
just participate in the chat, that's cool too. This is live. This is going out live, baby.
Geez, look at that! Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Wow!
Why don't you tickle the ivories and play us a song?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Can you light a fire first?
There's no fire. Oh yeah, there's
Looks
a
like it could be
fireplace.
cozier in there. Yeah, light a fire.
Dude, there's
Is that
nothing
a bar
in
in
my
the
house right
corner?
now. The walls are stripped. We're getting ready to move. It's one of the things that I think it would be cool to see would be, I guess, the band being interviewed all together.
Yeah.
I don't think that has happened very often, and I don't know what that would entail, because I feel like it's always individual. And if I remember
Bob
correctly,
and Malk. Or
it's
like
and
two at the most.
and sometimes Spiral, but Westy and Mark Eibold not so much. And I just feel like if they're in their, Bob is Bob, and he's talks like Bob wherever in any interview he's in. He's very straightforward. Steve has sort of like a persona about him. And this is not to be disrespectful, but every time I listen to an interview with that guy, he just sounds like he wants to be a million other places than where he's at. Like, I don't mean that in like a negative way, but Spiral seems pretty engaged. But it would just be good to see the dynamic with all of them together as a band. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know.
What do you think of the casting?
Was it actually
have you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead. Let's stay on the movie. Go for it.
Okay, I'm just curious what people think of the casting. If
What
you've
do you mean the
seen,
casting?
well, there's actors playing the characters. There's a Stephen Malkmus actor. There's a
Wait, really?
yeah,
This is
yeah.
what it is?
You know the
Yeah,
one
man. Yeah,
picture?
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
picture
Well, it's. I
for
think
the
it's
movie,
many
and
things.
it's got uh the bottom of it's got the real guys, and the top of it's got the actors that are playing them. It's one of the posters for the movie. It's out there. Like I'm not saying something that I haven't
Get out
seen.
of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen that, so I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I see what you're
I
saying
mean, from a
there.
bit of what I've read, they threw some money at this thing. It's got people you'd recognize, so possibly
Yeah, I
recognize.
don't
So
know
we
the
got somebody in
actors.
So
we got
it's
somebody in the
I'm
chat, Pete, that is taking you to task on here. You haven't seen them all together for an interview. The
What's it
commenter
say?
says there was one when they went to Much Music for Terror's Twilight, one when they go to New Zealand, one when they do a show on German TV where they come up with the Preston School of Industry song, and I'm sure there are more interviews that they all do together.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, if you stand corrected, I apologize.
Did you mean? Did you mean recently, Pete?
I mean, recently and also, yeah, like I think generally, because they're not a band anymore, really.
Right.
So like that would be interesting, and I'm sure that like yeah, if they're playing a show, it's afterward, but like they're not a band anymore, and everybody lives all different places. So you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that there's been interviews. That's kind of like again, I stand corrected, but somebody said there's an actor from Stranger Things.
Yeah, apparently.
I
I
don't.
don't know which actor. I don't watch Stranger Things, so I couldn't tell you. But I
It's
do.
Joe Keery. Joe Keery. It's
Joe
Joe.
Keery. So that's
It's
who
Joe
plays
Keery.
Stephen Malkmus.
I don't know who Joe Keery is.
I mean, Jason Schwartzman is in it. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Oh
Tim
yeah,
He was
Heidecker's
Here's
in.
in it, which is
Rushmore.
hilarious. Yeah, he's had a music label. Like he's done all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
He's there's some names in it. So somebody threw some money at it.
Well, you
If I
gave
could
us a good
choose,
segue there,
like,
Pete. You gave us a segue
yeah,
from, they're all living all over the place. Tim from Portland has a statement that he'd like to make to Mr. Malkmus regarding his leaving of Portland.
well, they've kind of always lived in different places, right? Like they two or three of them lived in New York at one point in time, but that's kind of been a thing. Um, but yeah, it's news that Steve moved from Portland to Chicago, and Portland lost, an indie guitar great, which I think is kind of sad. And it was a little surprising because, it's when I saw him about a year ago play at that tiny little venue not far from my house. So I thought something new was on board with those guys. But yeah, he's no longer a Portland fixture, which is a
Well, you were
yeah,
thinking of flying
no,
the
there's
coop
lots
too,
of
Tim, right?
oh, still, yeah, still
You're gonna follow him to
more
Chicago?
than ever now. No, I'd
Portland's
never live in
becoming
Chicago.
California, man. Everybody's leaving.
That's
All the
like
cool
stuff
people
people
are
say
leaving.
that, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think if I could choose, as far as like a band interview goes, to circle back on that, touch on that,
Yeah.
I would choose Pete's background. Like maybe Rebecca Clay Cole on piano, and the guys in the band serving up a dinner, and I would be a guest, and we'd
Some
have Pavement
tapas.
serve a meal. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know. Maybe like a big Italian family style meal. That would be fun. That would be a fun interview video, I
Sure.
think. Having a band serve a meal, cook and everything. Why not?
There's a great show here. I don't think they do it anymore, but I remember watching it when I first moved to Spain, and it is the coolest. It's the coolest show in the world. I hear that the guy who hosts it is kind of a schmuck, but if I was, I've never been one. I wouldn't want any fame or fortune. Fortune would be nice, but fame definitely not. But if I had to be a TV presenter, I would be this guy. And he basically goes to people's houses, famous people's houses, and they have lunch and they make lunch together. And all these famous people, one of them, he went to, I think, Antonio Banderas' house, and like a dude showed up with a leg of jamon and cut it for them. And they just sit there drinking wine and eating and just talking about their life. That's a cool.
That sounds good.
That's a great.
That sounds
we should
good.
bring that
Yeah.
here for sure.
I think that would be cool
I'd love to see Malk and somebody, you know. I'd love to see Stephen fucking Joseph Malcolmus make a ham sandwich. I'd watch that.
I'd show up. I'd show up to Eibald's apartment for chocolate chip cookies. Like Mark just baked fresh chocolate chip cookies. Wouldn't that be fun?
I would want to get some of that. You remember that that it was big in the 80s, that canned cheese where you get like a Triscuit cracker and you like push down on the thing and it would like this cheese would squirt out on the cracker. Yeah. I'd want to like eat those and shotgun like Natty Lights with Bob. That'd be a good lunch. Just barreling through it. That would be fun.
Oh, that would be great. Well, let's move on from the Pavements movie and talk about, I'm going to look here at my, we're going to talk about the THQ now. We're going to talk about the Hard Quartet because we haven't done that on this show, this program at all at this point. So if you're in the chat, have you A, seen them? B, have you listened to the record or do you own it? And C, what do you fucking think of it? Dan, what do you fucking think of it?
Me like it. It's a total surprise. You know, and there's lots of talented people working together in there, and they've come up with something that's fantastic. I personally took a long time to get into the album, but then it just hit me, and it just grew, and I think it's something of some real substance. Yeah, but as I said, completely mystifying to me because it came from nowhere. You know,
it did.
15 tracks. When did they do this? You know, what time did they have? When was this first initiated? You know, there's so many questions. The whole thing is like a real mystery, really.
Yeah, was it like a pandemic project or? Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get some press once they hit the road here in North America. We'll be hearing some things about them and from them. But I just fucking realized, you asswipes, you've all three seen them live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So talk about that experience.
Yep.
Talk amongst yourselves, because I've got nothing to throw in here.
Before we start this, can I just say that I'm glad
right?
Pete is here. Yeah, but I'm glad Pete's here because he's kind of my proxy brain on this, because I was in agony with this stupid leg all night.
He was.
Yeah, I was clinging onto some stairs to stay upright.
Oh fuck! Sorry, dude.
Yeah, that was we, and then I think we went and we got Chinese food after, right?
Yeah.
We get Chinese food by your house. Well, I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the show. The record is a great record. It's I don't know where it came from, but given the fact that everybody's so talented in that band, it's not surprising that they could have whipped that up in a week in Malibu. You know, like, no, really, I just finished reading that Beach Boys or that Brian Wilson book um, on his memoir, and just to hear how talented everybody was and how they could just spit out like great songs like in a day or in 45 minutes. That's all these guys, man. So they probably just got together and made the record, and live they sounded perfect.
Really?
They really sounded perfect. Like they sounded flawless. Like it was, I guess I'm like one of those people that is like, I'm always looking for something to be, I don't know that I'm one of those people always looking for something to critique, but I almost was like, guys, like you didn't have to sound that good. Could have like, you could have fucked off, but like everything was perfect. It was like listening to the live record. If if they had a live record of that album, like Frampton Comes Alive or some shit, it would be when Dan and I saw them in London. They sounded perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them on the let's have a look, 22nd of October. That was only 19 days after the album was released, so we didn't have that much time to get into it. And the previous gigs were Belasco in LA on the 10th of October, and then Webster Hall, New York, 17th of October. And the first gig, I think they played it in album order, and then I think it was the next one at New York, they played it in reverse order, but we were lucky enough to get it in album order. So we got like the three bangers at the start, like Chrome Mess, Earth Hater, Rio's Song. I mean, Rio's Song was fantastic, wasn't it, Pete? It was just a real highlight.
Sold when I heard Rio's Song. I was like, I'm gonna fucking love this record, and
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, but the Malk's guitar solo on Rio's Song live was just blistering. It's fantastic, really cool.
I think the funniest part about the show was and I think Dan would agree, I can't remember the name of the song. And they didn't really do introductions. I think maybe they did. They introduce people. Oh, somebody said something in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really take time to listen to the new record because I'm waiting for Malcolmus and Robert Pollard collaboration. Winky, I am.
That'd be great. How many songs would they write in a session? They would just sit down for a session and they'd have 1,000 songs between the two of them. Oh, no, okay.
There was a time during the show where Malcolmus was playing bass, and then the song ended, and Matt Sweeney got up to the mic and he goes, "Stephen Malcolmus on bass, ladies and gentlemen." And it was a good dig, man.
Does he have his own bass, or did he?
No, they just all switched around with
switched around. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered if he had his own bass. Like,
they shared
SG
one,
bass.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's got some weird writing on it. I think it says something about Iggy Pop on it. So I don't know what that's all about. But curious enough, when
Iggy Pop.
When Malk plays bass, he doesn't do any backing vocals. That was a curious thing. So he was just
I think you're right,
out there chilling out on his own. Yeah, I've had to, because my memory of that night is so hazy. I've had to watch a couple of videos from back then, and he just chills out on bass, no other responsibilities. It's just so weird to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I read they said when they play bass, they didn't write the song. That's what I got.
Huh?
Oh,
okay. Yeah, definitely.
And they all talked about how the bass is overrated and how much fun it is to play, and how they were all stoked to play a song on bass that wasn't one they had written. Like, it seemed like a really fun thing for them, which is
underrated or overrated.
Under. Like the pay.
Oh yeah,
like nobody wants to play bass. Everybody wants to play
overrated.
Guitar.
Yeah.
No, they basically talked about how everybody plays guitar and nobody plays bass, and how they love it. So
you can actually just focus on the music and not have to focus on other shit.
Yeah.
It's like everybody in baseball starts out as a pitcher and a catcher, but by the time they get to the big leagues, they're a left fielder. It's there's that switch up that happens. You don't always get the best position or the position that you're designed for.
That was a really good analogy, JD.
Thanks. I don't even know what I was analogizing at this point now. That's how
about bass and
I don't know,
playing,
but I
yeah.
want a hot dog
gotcha.
in a beer,
Yes,
that's
for
right.
sure.
That's right.
Bloody bass players.
That's right.
But that was the other thing about the gig is like the sound is one thing, but actually, those guys have all got pretty esoteric, playing styles. And then when you add them taking a turn on bass to that as well, it's really interesting to watch. Not a lot of use of plectrums. There was a lot of different weird things going on with fingers and various weird strummings. So it's good. It's good. Keep your eyes on them when you see them, JD. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I still haven't got a ticket. I'm slacking.
What are they playing in Toronto?
Whatever, dude.
They're playing at the music hall, the Danforth Music Hall, which is like literally 1 kilometer from my house, it takes me 12 minutes to walk there. Yeah.
When?
April 1st.
Jesus, man. On the Danforth?
If you don't go, if you don't,
I'm gonna,
right?
No, I'm
if
gonna
he
go.
doesn't
I'm gonna
go, then
minute.
Dan's taking over the pod. That's all I'm gonna say.
Peter do it so much better than me. I can't even talk. I'm hopeless, and I can't even walk at the moment. That makes me even more terrible.
Dan, I've got.
Well,
let me wrap this
up, and I'll hook us off the live stream, and then we will. We can stay on here and just take chat. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
I gotta give my THQ show story. You didn't get to me.
I apologize. Well, there's nobody in the chat. That's why I'm just shutting her down. But that's cool.
JD's like, I heard this last night when we were at the Horseshoe. Tim.
We were at the Wally. We went to the Wally.
Oof. Oh, the Wallace. Some of the most painful karaoke I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Except for JD.
All right, hit me.
JD killed karaoke last night. Yeah, so I only heard, was it Earth Hater first?
Right. You do have to say it.
And then Rio's song came. I loved the video for Earth Hater, the claymation. So cool. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, sir. I like Rio's song video better,
you guys really liked
it. It's so fucking cool. It's so cool.
I loved Earth Hater. It had this. It had like it had the sludgy guitar effects from Malk that I've been wanting to hear for a while. But I only listened to those 2 songs, and then I went to that first show in LA, their first gig, their inaugural gig, and so it was all new to me. I didn't even know they were going in album order. I had not listened to the album. And man, if you have a favorite band and they come out with a new album and they go on tour, I highly recommend not listening to the album and just going and hearing songs for the first time. It's the coolest thing. So I had a really fun experience at that show. I had no clue it was start to finish of the album, and there were about, I would say, 1,000 people there, maybe 1,500, maybe.
How big?
And it just kind of blew my mind. It was
like, was it sold out?
Sorry,
was it sold out?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it sold out. But yeah, the sound was good, and they all ripped, and the drums were amazing, and Papa M opened. Have you guys listened to him? No. It was just a gorgeous set. It was a fantastic night. I was more than pleased, and walked out the door and got a burrito from a stand on the corner, and life was good. Yeah, it was a good, fun show for me. So then I listened to the album, and I still haven't listened to it a whole lot, but on the cans, it's really good.
66 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the cans, it's really good. I think the production value is awesome, and there's guitars in one in each channel, which reminded me a little bit of the Hip. You catch that? There's a little bit of piano on a couple songs, so
yeah, we were listening to the Atmos mix yesterday.
Yeah,
and you can hear like some piano in there
Yeah.
It's tougher to hear normally.
On the
What are your
Atmos system, I
thoughts?
gotta say, it's super bitchin'. It was really cool. It was different.
What are
It was
what are
pretty
your
cool.
thoughts on the fact that they did decide to go album order?
Well,
Like, is that
I
cool?
mean,
Was it cool, or did it
I didn't
bother
know,
you? Like,
so I didn't care, right?
right, of
But
course.
I looked up on Setlist FM yesterday in my research on their Australian tour, and it's like 99% album order. So when I see them play in Portland in May, whenever it is, April, I don't remember. I'm kind of hoping it's just not an album order show. You know, I'm really hoping they do something different. I'm sure
Right.
I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, but yeah, I don't know how long can you do an album in order tour? You got to throw in something.
Yeah, good
Like these
cover
guys
would
can
be.
play anything. Yeah, they can play anything.
There was a there, and I think I sent it to you guys a while back, but a buddy of mine sent me when the Jicks had done Eddie Money's Two Tickets to Paradise, and it just
Right.
was,
Yeah,
that is a
yeah.
cover. That's a
I
good
think they did
cover.
that at a record store in Portland. They had some, yeah, they had some fun covers. So
We're
I
playing a
hope they
show at the end
mix
of
it
the
up.
month, and we're doing a Just What I Needed by the Cars.
You are
That's
not.
Yeah,
Shut your
we're
mouth.
totally doing. No, we're doing Just What
Oh,
I Needed.
fucking great. I want to hear that.
That solo is, dude. That guitar player is fast. Like,
I
it's not an
fucking
easy
love Rick
solo,
Ocasek.
man. Fuck, man. Oh yeah, I sent you
Great
that.
song.
I've been trying to fucking learn it because it's an easy. You know, it's Glycerin by Bush, or
It
Bush
is?
by
Oh, really?
or Glycerin is Just What I Needed. It's the exact same fucking song.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I
Funny.
think it's even in the same key.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer.
I hope they
That's
mix
why
up
the
the
Blue
tour.
album was so good. Was because Rick Ocasek produced that record, and it really
Yeah.
feels Carsy to me. Like it feels like a neo Cars. You know, just my
Yeah.
2 cents.
What
Well,
does that
final
say?
thoughts, folks. Round the table. Final thoughts.
Start with you,
Start with
JD.
you. Well, say what?
When you say start with you, who are you talking to?
No, I said. Oh, I said we'll start with you, Pete.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear Pete.
I'm a little high. Okay.
I got it. No, I'm looking forward to see the Pavement's movie. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I'm keeping my expectations low, man, because I don't want to get my heart broken. I've been heartbroken too many times, and I still want to go through it.
Right.
I want to go through it. I don't want to feel how I felt when I walked out of Bohemian Rhapsody with that guy from Mr. Robot. I don't want to feel no, JD. It just didn't. It was you cannot condense the life of somebody and a band so great and so cool into 2 hours and 15 minutes. You just can't. It's like
Right.
it's like an Instagram reel. It's like watching a fucking Instagram reel instead of watching a movie. Except this is you're watching a movie instead of watching somebody's life or following it. It just was, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So hope it doesn't disappoint. Hard Quartet, keep rocking in the free world, and that's it.
Tim.
I'm coming. Here we go. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I'm excited about Pavements. I think it'll be I mean again, I haven't read a whole lot, but I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna have some surprises and be different. And based on, all the happenings at went on in New York City, like the Pavement Museum and all that. I mean, that's kind of a taste of the eclecticness and wackiness that's got to come out of it. Yeah, the THQ. I'm excited to see them again. I just really hope it's just not a front to back album show. But if it is, whatever. You know, they're all dudes like pushing 60, if not over. So it's cool.
Yeah.
What else? If we get a new Pavement song, God, I just fucking hope it's over 2 minutes and 31 seconds long. Better not be some short
That would be
Bamo thing.
amazing.
You know, I hope it's
53 seconds.
I hope it's something longer than 3 minutes. What else? Yeah, yeah. That's the skinny.
Excellent. Daniel-san?
Well, for me, I mean, it's all about the mystery of the hard quartet. I mean, again, what is it? You know, is this it? Just one album, one tour, or is there more stuff? And basically, the mountainous, content that's on there, some of it's a bit varied, but some of it is very Jix sounding. And it's like, is this him expending the last bit of the Jix catalog? What's happening with the Jix?
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts, and I will watch the Gary Young film now. Thanks, Tim. And I'm intrigued and looking forward to Pavements. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to do this somewhat regularly. It'll be different people. No pressure here, fellas. But yeah, whenever there's some Pavement stuff to talk about, we'll get together and do something like this. So thanks for coming out, and wash your goddamn hands.